The interesting thing about the Trump presidency is that it's revealing some contradictions in all of our belief systems on both the right and the left. On the right, people have usually been pretty pro market, pretty pro capitalist, but they might not notice that a lot of their views at the moment, for example, tariffs making companies bring their manufacturing back to the country, or even just pharmaceutical companies to make more of the drugs in the country through government pushing them to do so, is pretty anti capitalist. A reason that companies went abroad in the first place was that they could find cheaper labor in other countries and therefore get higher profits. On the left, it's a bit more complicated because people throw around the word socialism and it means different things. Generally, I think people just desire the government to step in to protect workers more, to offer things like free healthcare. But I also see a lot of people, especially on here, talking about how the capitalist system exploits people. And I think that these people have they actually given full thought to what that means? Because in Marxist thinking, or just in general, there are really only two ways for society to go past capitalism to the next stage. One, through government intervention, which would be similar to what Trump is doing, and two, through technological change that allows people to change the way that they produce things and the economy works. Whether we like it or not, human nature is not perfect. And even if we look back at the 20th century in China when Mao Zedong took over, China was not just a socialist country, it was a very nationalist country. Mao believed in self reliance. He wanted China to be able to make its own products without having to rely on other countries. And what we saw in the late 1960s during the Cultural Revolution was that Mao really believed that people from the grassroots could take over the means of production. This led to the Red Guards, who made the country pretty chaotic by killing people in universities who they believed who were higher up than them. And eventually it got pretty out of control, and even Mao had to change his opinion on things and step in. The government needed to curtail human nature, curtail the fact that humans will always want to compete with one another and we all have bad desires. So I don't know if everybody on the left is really thinking this far ahead. Again, I think most people just want better healthcare and allowing people the ability to live. But I think a lot of people also perhaps want to go the full way and they don't realize that it might require the government to step in to do something. The other thing is that people on the left also think in this way of thinking where they want people to be equal. And this gets to the second contradiction, which is environmentalism. A lot of people on the left and right now want to bring things like mining back to the country, which might be bad for the environmentalist movement. But then people who are complaining about this, they might not realize that it's contradicting their belief in equality. In that, why should we be okay with these industries taking place in countries in Africa or in South America, but we don't want them over here where we want the environment to remain good? We're allowing bad things to happen in other countries. And this goes for factory work too. If we really want the world to be equal, we should be okay having the same conditions in all different countries. And factory work would need to be in all different places so that everybody was equal.